The official position is clear. The house does not practice sales because we have no interest in it. We have no unsold items. Our products are of quality and in demand. We have no reason to sell off the work of our workshops. The statement comes from Louis Vuitton, LVMH Group's flagship brand. At Gucci, the music, and everything else, you can easily find discounts, promotions, and outright factory stores or outlets, as the Americans say, which are dedicated to reduced prices, often between -30 to -70%. Yet there was a time Gucci embodied the very essence of luxury, but today something has changed. How has such an iconic brand fallen from its pedestal and now finds itself in the discount aisles? Why? The stock of its parent company has declined by 38% since the start of the year. At the time I'm recording this video, while Hermès is up 12%, that's what we're going to look at in detail today. Before we begin, as usual, some historical context. In the 2010s, Gucci wasn't just a fashion brand, it was a status symbol, a dream accessible only to those who could afford it. But everything truly changed with the arrival of Alessandro Michele in 2015. Michele completely redefined Gucci's image by leading it onto slippery ground that would change everything. The era of minimalist chic was over, making way for boldness, maximalism, and an eccentric aesthetic, with lots of big logos that made each piece a true gray. To say I am rich. Whether we like it or not, Michele was able to capture the essence of what the new generation wanted. Luxury, certainly, but accessible. Visible luxury that dared to break the codes and invited personal expression. Under his leadership, Gucci rode this wave, and the results were immediate. Sales tripled, and Kering, Gucci's parent company, saw its stock market value quadruple. Gucci was then at the top, reigning over fashion, with bolder collections, controversial advertising campaigns, and more accessible products that became instant viral trends. Good evening, you talk about it in a video that you can find in the description. It was the best way to attract the middle and popular class to sell them an image of a successful person, but with products of average quality. A simple cotton Gucci t-shirt with a large plastic logo is priced at $450, often not reflecting its quality.
Earlier, the shirt was $450 United States dollars new, and I would say a more than fair price for the shirt would have been $100 at the most. I gotta be honest, I've got $10 Hanes t-shirts that have held up better than this.
But as the saying goes, the higher the climb, the harder the fall. That's where Gucci's success was already hiding deep flaws. This success, based on extravagant and fleeting trends, came with a downside. Behind this spectacular growth, a problem was looming, that of the ephemeral. In fashion, everything evolves at a crazy speed, and betting solely on trendy products can be risky. Could Gucci continue to ride this wave? The future was soon to show the limits of this strategy. An image that changes too quickly, an overexposure of products, and a constant need for novelty, all of this was soon to weigh heavily in the balance. After reaching heights under Alessandro Michele, the Gucci machine found itself facing a major obstacle in maintaining this success dynamic. The problem with fashion is that what is new today can quickly become outdated tomorrow. Gucci had bet big on bold products like the famous fur loafers or the Dionysus bag. But where Hermès, for example, has managed to transform pieces like the Birkin into a timeless classic, Gucci fell into its own trap. Why? Because they wanted to exploit the success of these products to the maximum. Rather than capitalizing on their scarcity and making them coveted items, Gucci repeatedly reproduced them in various forms and new variations. Consequently, these products, which had iconic potential, have turned ordinary. Too much repetition has led to a market oversaturation, and what was once exclusive has become almost ordinary. It's a phenomenon we often see in fashion. When a brand overbids on its flagship products to meet immediate demand, it ends up losing. What makes its strength? Its exclusivity. Gucci, in its quest to maximize short-term profits, missed the opportunity to create classics that could have stood the test of time. These pieces became overexposed too quickly, failing to become timeless luxury symbols. As a result, people who want to feel unique with rare pieces no longer turn to Gucci, but rather to brands like Hermès. And for Gucci owners, this lack of long-term vision also highlighted another crucial problem: Kering's dependence on Gucci. Gucci's weakness threatens the entire empire, as the brand generates over half of the parent company's profits. By then, Gucci was significantly weakening. The situation is critical as Kering, Gucci's parent company, depends almost exclusively on the brand for its financial results. Imagine about 50% of Kering's sales come from Gucci, and even worse, more than 2/3 of its profits depend on it. This overdependence puts immense pressure on Gucci, leaving no margin for error, and that's precisely the issue. Kering relies heavily on Gucci, while LVMH has diversified its income with brands like Louis Vuitton, Dior, and Fendi. LVMH has the advantage of being able to afford a brand experiencing a downturn, as its other brands take over. Louis Vuitton only represents a quarter of LVMH's sales, and yet it's this diversification that brings greater flexibility to the group, which has no urgency to make short-term bets. Kering's reliance on Gucci makes the situation very fragile, as there is no backup plan if the brand falters. It's a bit like a poker player who puts all his chips on one hand. If that hand doesn't win, it's over. And that's exactly what started to happen when Gucci's sales declined. Investors, seeing that Kering was almost entirely reliant on a slowing brand, began to flee. To get back to Gucci, how did we get here? Why wasn't this dependency anticipated or corrected earlier? The answer may lie in Kering's very management style. Unlike Bernard Arnault at the helm of LVMH, François-Henri Pinault adopts a more distant approach, giving a lot of autonomy to his brands. This management decision will be crucial, particularly in the ensuing crisis. François-Henri Pinault, the chief executive officer of Kering, is often criticized for his more laissez-faire approach. Unlike Bernard Arnault, the boss of LVMH, who is directly involved in the most important strategic decisions of his empire, Pinault prefers to give more autonomy to the brands under his wing. While this approach may seem promising in certain situations, it has exposed Gucci's vulnerabilities. Consider the 2022 Balenciaga case, which rocked the fashion industry. This Kering-owned brand faced backlash after a controversial ad campaign was accused of sexualizing children. This incident highlighted Pinault's lack of direct control over the group's brands, which tarnished the image of Kering as a whole. But that's not all. In 2023, Pinault partially diverted his focus from addressing Gucci and Kering's internal issues towards a new acquisition, the purchase of the majority of shares in Creative Assist Agency, a major Hollywood talent agency, because his wife, Salma Hayek, is an actress. And it was seen by many observers as an unnecessary distraction at a time when Gucci desperately needed strong and focused leadership. Furthermore, Alessandro Michele left in 2022 due to creative differences with management. His replacement, Sabato De Sarno, a relatively unknown name from Valentino, was chosen to succeed him. His initial works appeared more rational and traditional, corresponding to Pinault's vision of repositioning Gucci as a luxury brand, more exclusive, in the same league as Hermès or Chanel. But this change, of course, does not happen overnight. Repositioning Gucci as a true luxury player, away from passing trends, will take a lot of time. The question is, will this turnaround be enough to save Gucci and, by extension, Kering? Louis Vuitton, the major competitor, is doing better. And it's perhaps certainly due to its current leaders, but also the incredible vision demonstrated by its founder. As Mansour tells you in this video that is displayed on the screen,